You want to help yourself to my drugs? Good luck. I'm not a drug user and never have been, but I am absolutely obsessed with black licorice, like the really strong, salty kind that most people think tastes like poison. It's been my thing since I was a kid. A few years ago when I was in college, I did this exchange program where I switched apartments with a student from another university for a few months. It was too far to commute, so we basically traded living situations. The program set it all up, and both our roommates were cool with it. When I got there, I pretty quickly realized I couldn't stand one of my temporary roommates. Let's call her Karen. She was one of those people who got into everyone's business constantly, always asking questions, going through your stuff when you weren't home, just being nosy about everything. The feeling was mutual, so I just kept to myself and stayed busy since it was only a few months. Here's where my weird licorice obsession comes in. Years before this happened, I figured out that eating tons of candy to get my licorice fix wasn't great for me. So I started buying this stuff called ammonium chloride powder. It's also called salmiak. Bakers use it to make bread crispy. You can order it online or get it at specialty baking stores. This stuff is seriously strong. Like, I'm talking tiny amounts. I usually just lick what sticks to the tip of my finger and that's enough. It's mildly acidic too, so you definitely don't want to overdo it. The powder is fine, white, and has no smell. I kept it in these small plastic bags, like 10 grams at a time. If you think you know where this is going, you're probably right. I know Karen saw me eat some once early on because she came up and asked what I was eating. I told her it was candy powder and that she wouldn't like it. She made this face and walked away. Fast forward to about 2 weeks before I was supposed to leave. I come back to the apartment one afternoon and there's an ambulance parked outside. The door to our place is wide open and I can hear someone screaming. I walk in and there are 2 paramedics trying to help Karen stop this massive nosebleed. Blood is everywhere, all over her face, her shirt, the kitchen counter. It looked like a horror movie. As soon as Karen saw me, she started screaming that it was my fault. The paramedics turned to me and asked if I knew what was going on. Karen kept saying it came out of nowhere and she didn't know what happened. So I looked right at her and asked very specifically, "Did you go into my room, find my bag of candy powder, and try to sniff it up your nose?" Her face went bright red. She hesitated, but then admitted she did. I turned to the paramedics and said, "It's not cocaine, you idiot, it's salmiak." Then I told them the chemical name, ammonium chloride, so they knew what they were dealing with. One of the paramedics asked how much she took, and Karen started crying, saying she did like a whole line of it. The paramedic's eyes went wide. He told her that stuff is acidic and she might have burned a hole in her nose. They had to take her to the emergency room. The paramedics weren't sure if she damaged her nasal wall or not. Turns out she hadn't burned a hole through it, but according to my actual roommate, who I talked to later, Karen couldn't smell anything for almost 6 months afterwards, and she still blamed me for it. Like it was my fault she broke into my room, stole my stuff, and decided to snort a random white powder without asking what it was first. The last 2 weeks living there were hilarious. Every time I saw her, she'd glare at me. I just smiled and went about my day knowing she'd done it to herself.